Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the second part of my Hunger Games review. Last night I reviewed the book. Today I'm going to review, sorry, not remove, review the movies. Of course, I'm talking about the trilogy, but of course, we all know that they did like um, a few other movies like Harry Potter and Twilight, where they turned the trilogy into a quadrilogy. So they made the third book into a fourth movie instead of keeping it at a nice clean three. But we'll talk about it and discuss, and maybe have a little bit of the differences between the books and the movies. But before I do that, we're going to go into a little bit of for a good 30 seconds of some Buddhist chanting to sort of relax and restart and re-energize ourselves for the weekend. Now, obviously, if you guys don't see this on the replay, I will have it linked in the description afterwards, so that way you guys can always check out the video for yourself later on. It is a YouTube video that is accessible to anybody and everybody. So if you guys want to do it, feel free. So, sorry, just adding the link, saving it, and then just going to the video now.
摩尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛。
And that's our cleansing for the morning. So I linked this video in the description. So if you guys want to be able to use that for yourself, feel free. And as I said, if you guys are reviewing this on the replay and you're like, what just happened? It's not there. I linked it in the description, so that way you guys are more than welcome to go to that and you know review it for yourself. I am trying to get a little bit more into meditating, but I'm finding it difficult in the morning to remind myself, hey, go watch some meditation videos, go and relax, get into that. So I figured I'd take this opportunity, since I was a little bit late as well on getting out of bed, and had to restart my computer as well. So I figured I'd combine the two activities in one. So without any further delay, we are going to review the movies The Hunger Games. So basically, I'm also going to talk a little bit about some of the differences that I noticed between the movies and the books, I should say, and really, and this is obviously all my, my personal opinion on it, and really just, my own, interpretation. So don't take it as, this is the official review, and all that, right? So obviously, like any other review channel, I'm just giving you guys my personal opinion too. So let's get into it. So the Hunger Games movies. The first one was directed by um, Gary Ross, while the other ones were all done by Francis Lawrence. So that's why there's also some major difference in tonality, artwork, all that between the first one versus the other ones that came out as well later on. Of course, the movies were based, of course, on uh, the books, the Hunger Games trilogy, and later on, Susan Collins, I should say, came out with a fourth book that was based on, the sort of prequel to the movies and so forth in the books, right? And it was distributed by Lionsgate, and it came out. The first one came out in 2012, and of course, the fifth movie, which is, I believe, the movie of the fourth book, came out recently as well. But I'll have to look on that. Oh yeah, I see that it's going to be announced. So they are going to make a movie out of the fourth book, which I didn't know last night. So uh, I'll correct that in a comment. So yeah, so the first movie came out in 2012, the second one in 2013, then the third one in 2014, and then the fourth one in 2015. And they're going to announce the release of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes movie when it's going to be released, dealt with, etc. So of course, the movie was of course a major hit. Of course, it launched sort of like Harry Potter did for, the writer. It launched Susan Collins into the limelight. Like I said, the book was her first attempt in writing. It was self-published originally, so got her into the limelight and really brought her a lot of attention and so forth. But like I said, we're really going to talk today more about the movies rather than the books. So the book, like the movie, I should say, sorry, like the book, is about the Hunger Games, and of course, the Hunger Games is an American dystopian movie where, of course, the American society entered into a second civil war, and the Hunger Games, which is a contest that are held by the Capitol, is the consequence of course, the quote unquote the victors, as the Capitol calls it. The consequence of that, and their reward for kind of reuniting, quote unquote, the American society. And of course, it's no longer the USA. You have the capital that's the leading leading part of the society that leads the 12 districts. And as I said in the books, District 10, 11, 12 are the poorest districts and tend to not fare very well in the movie, and it's in the book as well. So it's not any different, right? So of course, the first movie, you see the explanation and sort of getting into that whole what's the Hunger Games, what's the capital about, what are the districts about, etc. So of course, in the opening scene, you see that the game makers, so the people that are taking care of ensuring that the Hunger Games go well, and they're the kind of the production company of the Hunger Games, sort of like really big up the games and make sure that, oh yeah, it's wonderful, it's fantastic. Hello, hello, before the billions. Thank you for being here. Oh, great, you watched all four movies. I did too. And of course, I'm going to try to be quicker about reviewing all four, or sorry, not reviewing, but giving a summary of all four movies than I was with giving a summary of the book. I spent like maybe an hour and a half reviewing the book when I really wanted to spend a lot of more time actually giving my opinion. So I'll try to make this as quick as possible. But of course, there's a lot to go with the movie. Yes, and it definitely was a great series. So thank you for being here and spending a few minutes with me. So yeah, so as I was saying, the Hunger Games in the first movie, you sort of see that the Hunger Games are pumped up and really like, oh, it's a wonderful thing. It's great for society. It's a symbol of the unification of what was the U.S. and so forth, and brought people together. And but of course, if you're in District 10, 11, 12, it's basically, for lack of a better word, and pardon YouTube gods, it's basically a death sentence to the people there. They do not have the tools, the capacity, in any way, shape, or form to deal with the Hunger Games. So basically, you'll see in the opening scene, Katniss Everdeen goes out to hunt, basically because of the cancellation of her father in a mining accident. District 12 is a district that provides the coal for um, for the Hunger Games. So it's basically where the Appalachian Mountains would be, roughly, give or take, if I remember correctly, the general map of the districts. I'll try to see if I can quickly pull it up so that I have a better sense myself as well. Because I do remember um, seeing it, but I'm not. Let me see if I can get a picture of it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys quickly um, the basic map of the district so you guys have a better idea. And before the villains, I hope you're doing well today. I'm still technically a little bit under the weather, but I'm much better. Um, are you planning any kind of lives today before the billions? Let me know. Okay, there we are. So this is a map of all the districts, and as I said, District 13 is graphite and nuclear. But as you can see, anybody who's good with maps will notice that District 13 is basically Canada, and it's not only Canada but eastern part of Canada. Um, and then District 7 would be obviously northwest USA, but also the western part of Canada as well. So basically, the Civil War um, affected Canada, and as you can see, it also affected parts of Mexico as well. So it turned out to basically be an international war. I'm a bit surprised here. District 6 is unknown, but I think it is described, but I'm not too sure why in this one it would be unknown. But yeah, so as you can see, District 12 is here. So it is basically the Appalachian Mountains, essentially, and where a lot of coal would be found as well. So you see here some of the artwork and some of the different elements of what's called. And what I didn't mention is, of course, Panem is uh, the name of all this, the organization of the Hunger Games districts, right? So Panem is sort of the 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 symbol of the unity, quote unquote, between the all of the different districts. Let me see if we have here District 6. Yeah, District 6 is transportation. There you go. That's why I was like, wait a minute, how could they not have? And basically, excuse me, as you can see, each district doesn't take over. Like, there's not, like, there's some division between each district, and it's by intention, right? So you'll see in the movie as well that they each district has a border. They're all like basically fenced in. But you'll notice with District 12 in the opening scene, Katniss and Gale, which is her quote unquote boyfriend, um, kind of like go through the borders in order to go hunting. Oh, you might go. Okay, good. I'll try to check it out. Check out your video if you do go live, but I can't guarantee before the billions. I am, do have a couple plans for today, and part of why I'm going to try to make this video as quick as possible is that I do have a couple of things I want to do at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I do want to visit my mother. But hopefully, I'll be able to check out your live, and I'm glad to see that you're doing well. So I'm even seeing I'm taking way more time than I'm hoping, and I have to run really quickly. So I'm going to try to get this out and done as quickly as possible. Worst case scenario, I'll do a part two to this live if I see that I can't get everything done as quickly as possible for this live. So basically, in the opening scene, you see Katniss Everdeen, which is our main protagonist, go through the fence, that border that we saw in the map, and go hunt. Gale comes along and sort of distracts the deer that she was hunting and causes a whole bunch of problems. And you see that basically it is reaping day, meaning for the Hunger Games, what happens, and that's part of what you see and understand in the first movie, is that each district has to give to the capital two contestants for the Hunger Games, one boy, one girl. And the Hunger Game contest, what it is basically a contest to the death, unfortunately. So there can only be one person that wins. So 24 people go in, one person comes out. And of course, like I said before, District 10, 11, 12, since they are very poor and a lot of the contestants are often hungry and weak and sickly, they often don't win. So that's why for these districts in particular, the Hunger Games are viewed as essentially, a death sentence for the contestants. And oftentimes, in the book, as much as in the movies, the people really don't volunteer for it. It's something sort of like forced upon them. Um, and you'll see in the opening scene, just like in the book, Katniss's little sister, Prim, has a nightmare and is scared to be picked because, like I said, it's guaranteed a bad thing for them. And of course, we see that she is picked Prim for the Reaping, and that's when like Katniss is like, no, I'm not gonna have my little sister be part of this, and she then volunteers. Now in the book, they go more in depth as to what happens when Katniss intervenes and volunteers. But in the book, in the movie, it's just glossed over and it's just like, oh, okay, well, I guess we have a volunteer. And then, of course, the male contestant is picked. It is Pita that gets picked for District 12 to represent the boys. Um, and of course, we have the famous three finger salute that's given to Katniss since she is, has sacrificed herself for her sister, and she's also very well respected in the community. And a lot of people are saddened by the passing of her father and kind of look at her sort of as a very stoic and heroic person and kind of feel sad that she had to be put in this situation. So, of course, in the movie, you see that the two individuals, Peeta and Katniss, are brought to the capital, which is basically the headquarters of the Hunger Games. And of course, you see that in the tray they have all these luxuries of food, and this, wonderful offerings, things that for again District 12 being poor, these are things that they often don't see. So lavish food, lavish alcohol and drinks and so forth. And of course, that's where they also meet Hamish, that takes care of finding sponsors for them and obviously preparing them for the Hunger Games. Because that's what you see in each district. The previous winners help to prepare the current selected um, individuals to prepare themselves and kind of give them tips and advice as to what to do, what not to do to prepare themselves for the Hunger Games. Um, Haymitch is portrayed as sort of a pessimist and really just, you're basically going to your death, and nothing good's going to come out of this. He's also portrayed as a drunk, so that's pretty consistent both in the book and in the movie as well. So, he doesn't really do a whole lot to help them. This, of course, frustrates Katniss, but Peeta kind of just lays into him and keeps asking him questions and tries to stop him from drinking and all that, and goes after Haymitch and so forth, which later on actually turns out to be a good thing for Peeta and kind of plays into what happens into later movies. Um, so basically, what happens is, of course, they get to the capital, they get introduced to their stylists. So each district has a team of people that also help them to look good, because basically, what you want to do with the Hunger Games, because it is considered essentially as a TV show, you want to get the people to quote unquote sponsor you, right? So those are all the, think of it as like the ads, right? AdSense revenue if you're a YouTuber, right? You want people to be giving you money and to like bet on you, because obviously there's ranking for the contestants that's based on the betting, right? So if more people think you're going to win, chances are more people are going to give you money as well. So all that is important. So of course they get paired up with Cinna, who's looked at sort of like this underground stylist, who's not really well known and so forth. And he really is the one that makes them look very good. So I know before the villains you said that you saw the movie, but for those that didn't or saw the movie and don't really remember, this is the scene where Cinna makes them look really good by creating, since they're coal district, they make the suits that they're wearing black like coal, right? But then light up like you can do with coal, right? You can set coal on fire, which is what creates energy, right? And they sort of uses this fictional science stuff that um, lights the suit up on fire, and you see them on the chariot drawn by horses come in and light up, and it's this whole big scene, and really gives a good impression to people in the movie. So of course this caused a lot of fanfare and oh my god and oh it's so wonderful and so forth. um, so it's a whole big scene, right? And of course, this definitely helps with the reputation of District 12, which until that point was kind of like, yeah, District 12, who cares? Not really too good. So of course it builds up, and they're adding more things and adding more like, wow, do you really need to pay attention to District 12? The fact that Katniss, for example, volunteered for her sister is viewed as this big deal, as this big heroic thing. So again, all this will play into the movie as well, um, because basically um, District 12, like I said, overall is looked at as sort of like this, it's a loser district, whatever, it's a waste of time. Just give us the coal and, be quiet, leave us alone kind of district. And, they're not really viewed in a favorable light. So when, of course, you have this big opening scene and they're coming in with flames and all that, and Katniss has volunteered, it's kind of like, oh, wait, we need to be paying attention maybe to these individuals. And the same thing during the training, right? Katniss is, shown to be a little bit smart and, really, okay, let me just figure out how to start a fire and so forth. Although she doesn't, part of it too as well, you have one opportunity to show the judges that, hey, you're a fantastic person and you're going to be a great contestant. She screws up. She's an archer because she uses archery to hunt, to provide food for her family. She misses on her first try because she's not accustomed to the sort of metal archeries that she has. She normally has the wood ones. So, of course, she misses completely and people laugh at her. and then she does a second try and gets it, but sees that nobody's paying attention to her and pisses her off. So she then does a third shot with by the judges where they have a pig with the apple in the mouth, and that's when you see her using her archery skills to get the apple from the mouth of the pig while everybody was around. This, of course, leaves all the judges very stunned and oh my god, what just happened? And again, this all adds to the fanfare of Katniss and District 12. And you see, of course, when they come out with a ranking and saying, oh, we think this person deserves, it's ranked by 1 through 12, 1 being very low, so very low chance that this person survives and wins, 12 being the highest, and that, oh yeah, they're going to be almost guaranteed to win. You see that Katniss gets, I think, 11, if I remember correctly, right? So she gets almost to a 12. So, of course, the day comes when the Hunger Games actually occur, and you see that, of course, chaos and mayhem in the opening scene of the Hunger Games. Everybody is going to the cornucopia where all the weapons, the food, etc., are placed. And they do that intentionally because they know that most people are going to go to the cornucopia, get whatever they need to go, and then get going. But of course, the big ones, the older boys, the older girls, win out because they obviously have the size difference to them, while as the younger ones, because there are a few districts where they have basically 12 or 13-year-old little kids. Unfortunately, quite a few of them passed away, and Haymitch actually even suggests to both um, Katniss and Peeta, don't go to the cornucopia. You're guaranteed death, just turn heel and run the opposite direction. And that's the difference between Peeta and Katniss. Peeta listens and he has a plan. And you'll see in the other movies that this also plays into the difference between the two of them. Peeta is more of the planner, the thinker, and okay, let's figure things out. Let's go with the game plan. While as Katniss is more of the I'll just do what I feel. I'm independent. I'm more in my own world, and she kind of regrets this as well to some degree. So that's exactly what Peeta does: turns heel and runs. While Katniss stays there for a moment, sees, oh my god, and then oh wait, let me at least grab a bag so I can have at least something. She's nearly canceled, and that's when she's like, "Oh yeah, hey Mitchell's right. Let me get out of here." She turns heel and goes into the woods, and for a few days, you see her doing her best to survive and really using her hunting skills to survive. And the same thing with Peeta as well. But there's a big reveal in the movie, just like in the book. Peeta has aligned himself with District 1 and 2. District 1 and 2 are the districts that usually win most of the years. It's usually one of those two districts that produce the winners. He's like, yeah, let's go after Katniss. She's over here, and this is why I know, and all that. And of course, uh, for Katniss, she's because she doesn't know that Peeta has a plan. She of course feels very betrayed and like, how dare he? While as for Peeta, it's like, no, let me distract them, let me get them away from Katniss, because for him, he wants to protect her, and for him, it's she's guaranteed to win. So I'd rather sacrifice myself and make sure she wins than her being attacked first and foremost, and then the rest of us are all screwed. Um, so basically, throughout the movie, it's kind of this cat and mouse game between Katniss and District 1, 2, and Peeta. Um, and you'll see, of course, the other districts are sort of picked off slowly but surely during the movie. Now, at one point, the District 1, 2, and Peeta find Katniss due to the fact that you'll notice that Katniss tried to get as far away from the center of the playing field as possible. But the people that take care of the game were like, no, no, this is boring. This is not allowing a lot of attention. So they use fire to get her back into the center of the field so that she's found. And that's exactly what happens. Um, she's trying to go into the river to cool off and get the fire away from her. You see that, oh, wait, the District 1 and 2, and Peeta find her. Of course, Peeta's shocked, oh my god, what happened? Oh my god, I've been trying to get you away from all these people. And of course, District 1 and 2 go after her, and she climbs up a tree. Because she's smaller and more nimble, she's able to do it quickly and easily. But District 1 and 2, since they're bigger and heavier, it's a little bit more difficult. They're not able to successfully go up the tree after her. And she, of course, she taunts him a little bit. That's when Peter says, "Wait, why don't we just wait her out? Because she has to go down. She has to come down at some point to eat. So she's screwed by being there, right? She kind of put herself in, a very tight spot." And they agree with her. In the morning, that's when Rue, which is another contestant, sort of gets, Katniss's attention and shows her, hey, there's a bee's nest. You use it to your advantage. And the bees here are not just regular bees in Panem; they're poisonous bees, sorry, that can cause you hallucination and even death. And that's exactly what she does. She gets bit a couple times herself, but she cuts down the branch with a handy dandy saw that was in her bag that she had taken at the beginning of the movie. And of course, one of the individuals from District 1 and 2 does pass away from all of these things. The others manage to escape. Peeta wasn't around. But of course, Katniss gets off the tree, and because she was bitten a couple times, she starts hallucinating, and it was Peter really there because she sees Peter warning her to get out. She did get the or the archery tools and does manage to escape. Um, 3 days later, she wakes up and sees that she's been bandaged. That's when we find out that Rue, the girl that helped her earlier, also helped her sort of survive this attack as well. So yeah, now they're formed an alliance and they go after District 1 and 2, the survivors, and they successfully ruin because District 1 and 2 had piled up all of the supplies and so forth into this large pile. You do see one of the other contestants kind of outsmart them and get some supplies from them. Um, but Katniss is like, oh, that's smart, but okay, I'm not here to get supplies. I'm here to screw things up for District 1 and 2. So she causes some apples to fall and explode all of the supplies, which of course gets the people from District 1 and 2 mad, especially since they had somebody there to protect it. So they go after that person that was there to protect it. So that causes somebody else to pass away. So of course there's all this tit for tat, and Rue unfortunately gets captured and is unfortunately canceled. And of course this angers not only the people in the district where Rue is from, but of course angers Katniss herself, who's trying to protect this girl because Rue, I think, is like 13, 14 in the movie and books. She's a young kid basically. So it kind of was at that tipping point for a lot of people. And you kind of see in her district, or the Bruce district, the people rebel. So you see in the first movie that they're really, there's hints at rebellions, hints at we're tired of the Hunger Games. It's been 74 years because this is the 74th Hunger Games. We're tired of this. So there's been at least one, two, maybe three generations of this, and people are really frustrated with this. There's more and more rebellion. So um, even though at the end of the first movie, Katniss does win, and she's managed to win not only for herself but for Peeta through a nice kind of quick, tricks that she did. Um, she sort of looked as sort of this symbol of rebellion, which leads to uh, the second movie, where you kind of see them do a sort of bait and switch with what's going to happen on Hunger Games 75, right? So the 75th Hunger Games, a quarter quell, as they say. Um, Now they're saying, okay, we're not picking randomly from anybody in the district. We're picking straight out from the previous winners, which means for Candace, her being the only winner for District 12 for the women. She's basically the only one that's going to be picked. There's nobody there to volunteer for her. And for the boys, there's Hamish and Peta, and that's it. So Peta goes back in. So because it was originally Hamish that got picked, and he's like, no, no, I volunteer. And of course, Hamish can't really do much. Um, so Peta and Katniss go back in, and of course, this is another thing that just like the rebellion before from Maria's death, this is something that now the contestants themselves are also pissed because other contestants were like, "What the fuck? we did not pay for this. We didn't agree to this. This is not something we wanted. You guys promised us a good life, and now you're putting us back into this. This is BS. We don't agree to it." So. Um, you can kind of tell that President Snow, who's the leader of the Capitol, wanted to use this as a moment to squash the rebellion, but it's basically more, adding fuel to the fire rather than squashing it. So they go into the Hunger Games 75, and of course they go through the same stuff from the first movie where you see the interviews and the Silas trying to give the best impression. And again, there's during the interviews and during the dressings and so forth, you see that there's small acts of rebellion there as well. And just more and more people being boldly rebellious against the Capitol and President Snow and really calling out the BS of what's going on. So during the Hunger Games 75, you see that now it's more water based, where there's a large section of water. And in order to get to the cornucopia, you have to go through um, it's basically this long line of land but surrounded by water. So you have, in order to get the weapons, you have to run really fast down and avoid, of course, slipping up. A few people just go to the water, go to the outskirts of the land, and a few people just okay, excuse me, let me go get, let me go get the weapons at the middle of the ground. And a few people die, just like in the original movie and so forth. So I won't go too, deep into details of my, summary of the movies. But of course, at the end of the movie, just like in the first, Gail, not Gail, Katniss, with the help of a few other of the contestants, she sort of uses another act of rebellion, but rather than quote unquote winning the games, uh, she uses her archery skills to destroy the globe that they're in, uh, and to sort of like you know tell the capital you're not indestructible. We can go through this and deal with you. And that's when you see this large ship come down and take Katniss. At the end of the movie, that's when you know that Hamish and the new leader of um, people that organize the movie are in cahoots with each other, and they're actually part of the rebellion, and they want to use Katniss sort of as the symbol of the rebellion. You find out as unfortunately that Peta and a few other the contestants that had survived at the end get captured by the Capitol. So now it leads us to movie 3 and 4, which were basically book number 3, The Mockingjay, where it's a whole rebellion against, the capital, and you really see that that's when a lot of things come out, and you see that Haymitch was in cahoots not only with the game maker, uh, both the old one that had been replaced in had passed away in the first movie, and in the second movie replaced. Um, and was in cahoots with each other, but he was also in cahoots with Peta himself, who sort of sacrificed himself to protect Katniss and to make sure she survived, regardless of whether he passed away or not. And of course, this pisses off Katniss, who wanted to sacrifice herself. She's like, no, I don't want to be the face of the rebellion. I just want to do my own thing, be part of my family, and that's it. I don't want nothing else. Sorry if I'm going really fast, guys. Like I said, I do have something that I need to get done at 10 a.m. and I'm seeing the time, and I don't want to have this longer than necessary. Um, so basically, in the third and fourth movie, is basically that rebellion against President Snow in the Capitol, and you see that there's a back and forth with propaganda from both sides where PETA is brainwashed to support the Capitol, and it's revealed that District 13, which was supposed to have, so Canada essentially, was supposed to have like been like squashed and eliminated. We discovered that they actually still are around and have access to nuclear power, which is why the Capitol kind of didn't go after them. And Canada, so since this District 13 is Eastern Canada, Quebec does have a nuclear silo. Just to let you guys know, we actually do have one. So this is semi-realistic as well. Um, and Canada does have some nuclear weapons as well. So it is reasonable that this could actually happen. Um, so yeah, so of course, District 13 obviously makes a public showing of no, we're not dead, we're still here. We're very much here, and we're very much against the Capitol and President Snow. Um, at the end, near the end of the fourth movie, so after all this back and forth, and Katniss going in to save Peeta and all this stuff, right? You see that the president of District 13 offers herself up as president of the Capitol. But Candace kind of realizes that, oh, wait, because of some of the things that were done, she realizes that no, this new president isn't any better than President So. So rather than cancel President Snow as she was commanded to do, she went after the new president instead, which shocks everybody. But then everybody goes after President Snow because he's, like I said, not any better. He's not a wonderful person either. Uh, Katniss does try to self-cancel, but PETA intervenes and does not allow this. Now, of course, there's a happy ending. Katniss does survive. Her and PETA do hook up and end up in a relationship and have two kids. Prim, in one of the attacks in the third movie, does pass away, which caused a major rift between Katniss and Gale, because Gale is suspected to have taken part in the attack that killed Prim. And for Katniss, the whole point of her going into the Hunger Games was to protect her little sister. She just wanted to make sure that her sister did not pass away. That was the whole point of it. So for Prim to pass away at the end of the day, of course, just infuriated Katniss, and she could not stand to be with Gale anymore. So that's, I know at the end I kind of really glossed over, went quickly on this basic summary of the Hunger Games, but this is a movie that's been out since 2012. It's been 10 years, so if you guys don't really know the movie that well, there's not much I can say. It's a 10-year-old movie, guys. Come on, like why haven't you seen the movie, right? So basically, my overall review of the movie is that the first movie is actually what got me to read the books. I hadn't heard about the Hunger Games at all, did not know about it, never heard about it, nothing, right? And in my city, and I know this is popular in a lot of cities, every summer, they have a free movie in the park, right? So they'll set up a big, big, huge screen, and you can watch the movie for free. Sometimes they'll have popcorn and drinks and things like that. Sometimes it's free, sometimes it's not, but you know what I mean. But the movie itself is free at the very least, right? So I was at college at the time, and they had set it up at the school, and it's like, yeah, come and enjoy a free movie, and there'll be popcorn and drinks for everybody. So come on in and sit down, watch a movie with us. So that's how I got to see the Hunger Games for free. And it was the first one at least. The other ones I did pay for, but I really loved the movie and really enjoyed it. And wow, this is great! And I love the visuals. It wasn't perfect. There's definitely criticisms that I have of the movie and the books as well. But it's the movie that really got me into the book. And once I found out, oh yeah, this is based on the book. Wait, what? That I, of course, like I said last night, I read through quickly the books to the point where I was staying up until like 2 or 3 in the morning to read the book, and it's like go to school tired because of it, and I did regret it to some degree, but okay, whatever. I read the books; it was enjoyable. So what I liked about the first movie is really a lot of the visual and the sort of setup, and you really got the sense of, oh my God, this is like so sad and so horrible. But you also got the sense that, you know what, a lot of this could actually happen in real life. Like I said, Quebec really does have nuclear power, nuclear plant, and if Canada were to go in war against the U.S., we do have quite a bit of nuclear weapons ourselves as well. So, I mean, you could see a very devastating war between Canada and the US if ever there was tension between our two countries. But I'm just going to take some key guys. So there is a certain degree of realism to the movie and to the book. Now, of course, some of the criticism of the movie is that it's played out. A lot of these dystopian societies. There's only so much. Oh, the American society. There was a war that happened, and now we have to rebel against the government that's squashing us. So there's a lot of elements of 1984 in this movie, and a lot of the storylines are played out, and it's been compared. Hunger Games has been compared to a lot of other movies that are in the young adult section as well. So I'm not saying that this movie is innovative and oh wow, it's come up with new ideas, but I definitely enjoyed the movie. I felt that some of the criticism that I had personally is that some of the things that I felt like could have been done differently was the fact that you really got a sense that in the movie that Katniss, of course, was represented by a very beautiful, very Jennifer Lawrence. That was sort of her breakout role. But in the books, she's really it's clear that she's very very skinny, very sickly, because again she's coming from a district where a lot of the people are hungry constantly. But you don't really see that in the movies. She's very plump and okay, is she overweight? No, but she's definitely on the more okay, she's about where at that weight where she should be. And she's not seen as this very young, skinny 16-year-old. It's kind of like, well, she could easily pass as like a 20-year-old or 25-year-old, right? The other criticism that I have about the movies is that in the books, they have these characters that are sort of these servants that are mute because their tongues are cut out. And in the book, these characters play a much bigger role, and they're sort of people that are part of the rebellion, either were and were discovered, or still are, and using their new role to their advantage to help the rebellion, right? While as in the movie, there's sort of like a decorative piece, so there's not really a whole lot that's going into it. So in the second and third, of course, I didn't like the fact that they separated the last book, so Mockingjay, into two parts. I felt that there really wasn't enough material there to make two movies out of it, and it kind of was viewed as a cash grab by the companies involved in making the movie. I know it really, although it was interesting to have the movies where you're showing the rebellion, you're going, they really didn't go more into details because I think if we're going to, hello Laquita, how are you? Good morning, glad to have you here. But yeah, so as I was saying, is like if you're gonna separate the two, the last book into two movies, to me they should have gone much, 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 much more into details in the movie. Like especially if it's, I think both movies ended up being 90 minutes, they could have been going through a lot more details and a lot more. Okay, this is how they planned this is how they planned that, and really showing, um, maybe showing more, some of the PTSD that some of the contestants would have and things like that. I really think that they really didn't do enough in that really justified, Mockingjay being two movies rather than just the one, unfortunately. But again, this is just all my personal opinion, guys. I'm going to end the video here now. So sorry, a blind guy has wiped their life. I know you just came in here. But yes, I do have a few things that I need to do, including going at 10 o'clock. I have an activity to do, and I'm still not dressed or anything, so I have to rush to get going. I might go live later to go more into detail into my review of the Hunger Games, but overall, I like the movies. It's you know, it definitely got me back into, gave me a little kick into reading back in the day when it first came out. Um, but I think it's definitely worth looking and worth watching. Hey, 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 Trash Can Waves, how are you? Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if that's where we're headed, but definitely a possibility. Trash Can. It's definitely, like I said before, and it's kind of weird that it never dawned on me until like maybe a year ago or 2 years ago that District 13 is basically Canada. It's Eastern Canada, basically, where I am. So it's like, yeah, I don't want this to be happening, Trash Can. This is definitely not the reality I want. I don't want to be part of the nuclear power that destroys potentially the U.S. No, it's not what I want, Trash Can. Please, no. But yeah, there's a lot of elements there that could technically happen, but definitely not where we want to go. But anyways, I'm gonna end the live here, guys. Sorry to rush through this review. I might, like I was gonna say, I might go live later tonight, maybe to sort of go more into detail of my review of the Hunger Games of the movies. I'm gonna end the poll as well, just to see what you guys put in as well. But yeah, so that's it for me today. I'm gonna rush, rush, rush to get my stuff done. Oh, there we are. I was wondering why isn't the poll results coming up? So there were 5 people that voted in total. So 40% of you said yes, that you saw all of them. 40% said no, you didn't see any of them. So I imagine 2 people said yes, they saw all. 2 people said no, they didn't see any of the movies, and one person said yeah, they saw some of the movies. So, all right, guys. So I'll call it a day with you guys. So thank you for spending a few minutes with me, guys. And again, I apologize for rushing through my review of the Hunger Games. I didn't think it was going to take me this long, and I do have something to do for 10 o'clock, which involves getting out of here. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you again for being here, guys, and spending a few minutes with me. And like I said, hopefully later today I will come back and give you guys a proper review of the Hunger Games. But if not, I haven't set it up yet, but I will be going live tomorrow for my Game of Thrones reading, and Sunday afternoon for my new series where I talk about the weirder side of YouTube. So have a great day, guys. And I hope to see you guys out there in either my lives or your lives, whatever the case might be. And have a great weekend, guys, if I don't see you guys. And be sure that to know that I love you guys, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye, guys. Au revoir.